Ever wondered why some fathers interfere destructively in their sons' relationships? Could narcissism be the root cause? Narcissism, an inflated self-view coupled with a lack of empathy for others, can manifest in a variety of ways. In father figures, this often translates into a relentless need for control, dominance, and validation. These fathers may view their sons as extensions of themselves rather than as autonomous individuals. They might feel threatened by their sons' romantic relationships, perceiving them as competition for attention and admiration. This fear can drive them to interfere and even sabotage these relationships, all in a bid to maintain their perceived superiority and control. A narcissistic father's interference may come in the form of criticism, manipulation, or even outright hostility towards their son's partners. This behavior stems not from concern for their son's well-being, but from a self-centered need for validation and dominance. The narcissistic father's agenda is driven by a deep-seated need for control and validation, often leading to the sabotage of their sons' relationships. What weapons does a narcissistic father wield in his campaign of sabotage? These cunning individuals often employ a variety of tactics, each one meticulously designed to create tension and discord in their sons' relationships. A common strategy is emotional manipulation, where the father may exploit his son's vulnerabilities, twisting emotions to serve his own ends. Then there's the guilt trip, a classic move in the narcissist's playbook. The father might insinuate that his son's happiness or success is causing him pain, thereby instilling a deep-seated sense of guilt. Perhaps the most insidious tactic of all is gaslighting, where the narcissistic father sows seeds of doubt, making the son question his own perceptions and feelings. This can lead to a state of constant anxiety and confusion, shaking the very foundation of his relationships. These manipulative strategies can inflict lasting damage, creating a cycle of conflict and distress. But how does this sabotage play out in real life? Let's delve into a few examples. Consider John, who loved his girlfriend deeply, but his relationship was constantly undermined by his father's subtle and not-so-subtle digs. His father would question John's choice in a partner and criticize her in his presence, creating a wedge that ultimately led to their breakup. Then there's Alex, whose father would regularly share tales of his own romantic conquests, setting an unhealthy standard of masculinity. This constant comparison made Alex question his own worthiness and strained his romantic relationships. And let's not forget about Michael, who was constantly told by his father that he could do better, that his current girlfriend wasn't good enough. This consistent negative feedback eroded his confidence and led to the collapse of his relationship. As these real-life scenarios illustrate, the fallout from a narcissistic father's interference can be devastating. So, what's happening beneath the surface? What psychological dynamics are at play? The realm of emotional manipulation is a complex one. Narcissistic fathers, with an insatiable need for control, often resort to this strategy. It's a subtle art, often wrapped in a cloak of concern or love, making it all the more insidious. They may use guilt, shame, or fear to control their sons and influence their relationships. This manipulation can leave deep emotional scars, affecting the son's self-esteem and sense of self-worth. It fosters a cycle of dependency, where the son seeks approval and validation from a father who's always moving the goalposts. The partners, too, are not spared from this emotional whirlwind. They may find themselves in the crosshairs, maneuvered into situations that undermine their relationship. All these tactics serve one purpose: to maintain the narcissistic father's control, his illusion of superiority. Understanding these dynamics is the first step towards breaking free from the cycle of manipulation. How can women protect their relationships and support their partners in the face of such destructive behavior? Here's the key: empowerment through knowledge and resilience. It's about setting clear boundaries that guard you and your partner from the manipulative tactics of a narcissistic father. It's about seeking professional help when needed. Therapists, counselors, psychologists can provide invaluable insight and strategies to manage and counteract the impact of such emotional manipulation. It's also about fostering open communication with your partner. Discussing fears, concerns, and feelings can help to clear the fog of confusion often cast by such destructive behavior. And finally, it's about self-care. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of your own emotional well-being is vital. So, be brave. Be resilient. After all, resilience isn't just bouncing back, it's bouncing forward, stronger and more prepared. With awareness, resilience, and the right strategies, it's possible to navigate and protect relationships from the destructive interference of a narcissistic father.